What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Realm Status. I'm your host, Swiper, and today I'll be reviewing the weekly wrap up for September 27th, 2019. So, for everybody that's new to this series, I go over the Camelot Unchained's weekly wrap up every week, and I try and keep it about 10 minutes long. So, if you've seen their stream before, you know it's about 45 minutes to usually over an hour. So, I like to break this down, talk about some of my favorite topics and some of my favorite questions. So, without further ado, let's get started, everybody. All right, starting with number one, work in progress tech and gameplay. So this week, Anthony added a few more minstrel harmonies, including their panic abusers. So panic we talked about a little bit last week. It's going to be a separate bar on your user interface somewhere on the screen, probably, under your health or whatever. And basically when it gets depleted, that is when all hell breaks loose. That is when the panic mechanics will kick in, baby. You better hope you have that support with you. You better hope, because those supports are going to be able to most likely regenerate that panic and also cause havoc and panic to your enemy by reducing their panic bar. So yes, the support is not just going to be an off healer that you say, maybe I'll take him if we can't find a healer. You're going to want this guy in your group. You're going to want him. So moving on to number two. Work in progress, tech, and support classes. So Christina has added the siege abilities to the support classes, and Anthony worked on the Banes and the Boons for the Minstrel and the Dark Fool. While working on the new classes, Anthony had an opportunity to fix some of the ability bugs. So hell yeah, it sounds like they're moving on with the other two support classes, they're knocking out some bugs, so it sounds like they're making some really awesome progress. This is good news, very good news. Alright, so let's move on to number 7. This is the tech installer. So you guys probably got an email saying, make sure you download this file if you're going to test. Make sure you download this, download this, download this. So make sure you download it before you test, because I'm pretty sure the installer won't work anymore. So anyway, let me get to the update. Tim has built a new installer for CU, as you might have seen in the email that was sent a few days ago. This will result in a faster download and install, and it will require all of our backers to use the latest VC Redis from Microsoft. So yeah, I think this was all in the forums too. I think this was in Discord. I actually found it in Discord, so I downloaded it. And did I notice the installer was quicker? Oh, I don't really know, but I'm not taking much notice to it. But it's pretty cool. At least they're doing more things to make things easier on all of us, so that's great. All right, so let's move to number 9. Bug fix in UI. So AJ fixed an issue that was preventing players from changing their key bindings. This issue has been quite a pain, but now key binding should be fixed. So I heard a lot of people asking about key binding, and I guess I don't know if I really had that problem. I guess I only was key binding some of the movement keys and also some of like the spell keys. I have one of those like 12-button mouses, and you can basically program it to do like a ton of different things. So that worked just fine, but I don't know. Maybe it was a different kind of key binding that I didn't really take notice to. So anyway, let's move on to the last one, number 12. Art, Harmonic Acts. Oh, this one was awesome. This one was awesome. I'm not really good at art, but I love art concepts, and I love when they make it into the game. But anyway, Anthony completed work on the Vikings Scald Harmonic Axe. Yeah, Vikings! This will be added to the game with the Scald class. So look forward to that soon. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Let me see if I can find a picture of that real quick. I think maybe something like this. Maybe. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely get you guys a picture later on here. So let's move on to some of my favorite questions. All right, starting with question number 1. Will guilds be able to have their own caravan roads? So before I get started with this section, or before I answer this first question, if you ever have a question that you want me to ask the team or Camelot Unchained, and if you can't make their stream, because I know a lot of people can't because of the timing. I mean, I don't make every stream, but I try to. It just depends on how my Friday is going at work. And it depends also who's on, so I could ask those certain questions. But this question actually came from one of my YouTube comments. So I'm glad I was able to get it out there for you. And let's get to the answer. So, assuming you have the land to build the road on, you definitely can. So, if I think about this question, which I didn't really think about it too much until Mark actually answered it, when you own land and have a keep there and stuff, obviously you're going to be able to build road. But if you're trying to build road to one point to another, I think that's going to be a ton of road. Now, I don't know how long these caravan stretches are going to be. I know some will be shorter, some will be longer, and I assume the longer they are, the better payout in a sense it's going to be. Um, Maybe kind of like Arcade. I didn't really necessarily play that game all that much, but from what my buddy was telling me, because of the new release and all that stuff, is that the roads, that the trade routes were awesome because you would spend a lot of time traveling and a lot of PvP would occur at that. It was like a natural occurrence of PvP, and that's always good in a game because a lot of games try and do PvP, but people don't participate because it's just not worth their time. So something like this, if it's worth the time, then it's going to be awesome. And I'm really pumped for these caravan roads, and I really hope they are as good as it sounds like it's going to be on paper. So let's move on to question number 2. When can we expect smoother animations? So this was a great question because I don't know how many people are testing right now that are listening to this show. I mean, I test, I play here and there. I don't play a lot, but I just jump in here or there and see how everything's going. And the animations, they're, the animations, but you got to remember they're in beta 1. And to me, and this is how I feel, animations don't typically get worked on, in my opinion, until further on down the line when there's a lot of the other core mechanics need to go in. I know right now they have a bunch of placeholders, and they've actually improved on some of their animations. I've seen that for sure, and added sound effects and things like that. So that's really cool. But I don't think we're going to really see better animations till later on down the road. But Mark does say that, hey, we're working on them. We've come a long way, but we want to make things better. And we want to have them better before, beta 2 or when beta 2 comes out. So that's good. At least, they're continuing to work on them as they're progressing through their classes and things like that. So let's move on to number 3. Will the Vox be powered by gold? So for any of you guys that are new, that don't know what the Vox is, it's basically this box that you utilize, this really cool looking box or whatever that you utilize for all your crafting needs. And it doesn't sound like you just pump gold in there and craft here and there and all these things. It sounds like the only way, or the only thing that gold is going to help you do is repair it and I think upgrade it. So obviously I'm thinking, and this is just me guessing, for you to be able to upgrade it, you have to probably put in so much crafting. You have to do so much crafting to get to that next level. So I think a lot of the crafting is going to be geared towards getting your materials and creating recipes and, crafting what you can craft. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's move on to number 4. Are there any interviews planned in October for any game sites or magazines? So Mark basically says there is nothing planned. It could change, but as of right now, there's nothing planned. And he kind of goes off on a tangent, says he doesn't want to hype this game, he doesn't want to hype donations, and he doesn't really want to hype interest at this time. He's more worried about delivering the game and getting the game out there. He says interviews are great, for certain reasons. Maybe, before you make an announcement about a game, or before launch, or if you're doing something really interesting that's going to catch like a lot of interest. Now he does say, yeah, he thinks they're doing a lot of interesting things, but nothing that would require like interviews and things like that. So I think that's the right way to do it, personally. So let's move on to the next question, then we'll kind of continue this topic of conversation. So for the last question, when is it okay to turn up the hype train? So he says the easy thing that they could do is do this during beta 2. But in his opinion, the right time to do it is when they can see the finish line. And I'm assuming what he means by that is when he knows that launch is right there, when he can distinctly say, this is when this game is coming out, this is how much work we have left, and we can definitely do this with no delays. And I think that is the absolute right way, because I think personally, if you start hyping a game up too soon, people just get frustrated, people get angry, people start going into the forums and complaining. And I mean, even I see some comments from people, which, hey, you can have your opinion and all, but I mean, let's face it, it's MMO. It's going to take a couple years, and yeah, they're late, but like I said before, when this game comes out, I think everybody that's interested or had interest in this game is going to come and check it out either way. But anyway, I think what they're doing is right. They're keeping the hype low. They're keeping a very low profile. You're not hearing a lot about them in the news because they're just not putting stuff out there. And it doesn't sound like they really want to put stuff out there yet. So overall, I agree with this plan. I think it's a good plan. And you know what? For all the people that want to follow like this game like myself and a few others, hell yeah, we'll keep following and it'll be a good time. And it's really cool to see how a game progresses. It's really cool to be that person that says, yeah, I played in that beta, man. I was there. Like, I remember this, I remember that. Like, it's such a good feeling. But I know the feeling will be even better when it launches, but still, it's a good feeling, and it feels good to be part of something like that. So anyway, pretty good questions. Not a lot were asked this time around. I think they were kind of not rushing, but they didn't spend as much time as they usually do. I think it's because they wanted to get the test out for Sunday, get everything ready. So if you missed the test, they had one on Sunday. They had a few actually during the week too. I got to try the minstrel myself. I know I can't really talk about it, but it was pretty cool. Like I really can't wait to see the other two, and I really can't wait to see that last class come in, and just so we can get this started, just so we can hear more. And I'm hoping we hear more about beta 2. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for me today. I don't really have too many announcements for this week. One thing I'd like to point out is they did some beta tests during the week last week, and they also had a beta test on Sunday, and they included beta 2, beta 1, alpha, and IT. So it was pretty awesome that everyone got to join in and play. And if any beta 2s got in, or if anybody that got in that hasn't been in for a while, hit me out in the comments. Let me know if you liked it, if you saw improvements. Obviously, we can't talk about specifics, but just let me know what you thought, because I've been pretty consistent in jumping into these updates, so I haven't seen too much change. But I remember seeing a lot of change when I wouldn't join for like a month or two. So let me know what you think. I'm actually really interested. So other than that, if you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up. And if you want updates such as these and anything else Camelot Unchained related or MMORPG related, please hit that subscribe button. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.